Hey everyone, it's Andrew from Illumin8 here. We have had our budget night extravaganza as we always do every year. We started the night at an escape room because we figured that the Liberal government was probably going to have to do a bit of escaping with this budget, given the fact that Labor is heavy favourites in the poll to win. So that actually makes it a really interesting point when we're looking at the budget stuff at the moment. What's the likelihood of all these things actually becoming law? Labor's going to have their response, and then we're going to go to the polls soon, and then we're going to find out what the future for all of this budget actually means. As we love small businesses here, one of the really important things that was announced today is fast forwarding some of the tax cuts to small business companies. As you would know, historically, companies have paid 30%. It's been reduced recently down to 27.5%. And the Liberals have now announced they're going to fast forward to cut that tax down to 25% on profit for small businesses. Now, their definition of a small business is a $50 million turnover. I'll let you decide whether you think that's a small business. But that's something that's really, really interesting there. I mean, the budget had a lot of giveaways, a lot of things that they've done that they kind of announced in the past that they were reiterating as well. As well as it just seemed like they were talking about how they're going to spend all their money, but there's very little conversation around how they're actually going to go about recoup that. But I got a few of the rest of the Illumin8 crew here, so what I'm going to do is going to refer over to our mate Nick, and he's going to have a chat around what he thinks about it.
Well, they did announce increased funding for apprenticeships over the next 5 years, which is good news for employers and job seekers alike. So I didn't mind that one. That was good.
Yeah, very, very good. So employers, obviously, if you've got apprentices, this is trades-based stuff, a lot of opportunities there. Christina, what do you think about the budget for small businesses?
For small businesses, as you mentioned, they're looking to change it to a turnover of $50 million, and it's currently $20,000 availability for instant asset write-off, which is looking to be increased to $30,000.
So that's buying assets. So you're looking to buy a new car, maybe a crazy Nerf gun. At the moment, you can spend 20 grand and you can write that off. Now, you're not going to get 20 grand given back to you from the government. It's a tax deduction. Big, massive hashtag disclaimer. Just because you're going to save some tax doesn't mean you should actually spend the money. But at the same time, we're talking about all these giveaways. Oh, we've got incentives for this and tax cuts for that. Shane, where do you think they're going to get the money from to do all this kind of stuff?
So the federal government and the ATO have sort of announced a number of sort of data matching that they're increasing over the last several years, and they're doing that further into 20 and 2021. This is going to be in particular with Centrelink, and that's going to allow them to know, one, what your employer is paying you, what you're getting from Centrelink, and if there's any sort of miscommunication there, if someone's getting paid more, they're going to flag that early, and those payments are going to be cut back. And so for people on Centrelink benefits, you have to be right on to what you're reporting.
Super important. You might have been on the bad end of maybe a data match from Centrelink. There was a number of pensioners that had a little bit of that as well. So one of the really important pieces of advice I'd probably give you is if you are receiving Centrelink benefits, you need to make sure that you are declaring your income properly. So have a conversation with someone like us as an accountant or a financial advisor. Funnily enough, we have a financial advisor here today, James from Northeast. Can you please give us your 2 cents on what you saw from the budget?
As an aside, if you spent $20,000 on that Nerf gun, we got to talk.
Yes.
Probably one of the biggest takeaways at a personal level is the proposal. It starts from 2024, but it's the proposal to change the tax rates to abolish the 37% tax bracket and to go from 19 cents to 30 cents straight up to 45% for people earning over $200,000. Now you can look at this and say, look, this is in 2024, this is a long way away, which of course it is, but in saying that, if and when this actually gets executed, it's going to make a massive difference to the. Just running some quick numbers. Currently, a $100,000 earner would pay tax of about $26,000. That'd go down to $20,500. So $5,500 for each individual earning $100,000. Big numbers. It gets even bigger if you're earning as much as $200,000. Today, a $200,000 income earner should pay around about $67,000. That's going to come down to $51,000 as a result of these changes. So again, they are a little while away, let's be frank, but if they do actually get it instituted, it's going to make a massive difference for a lot of Australians.
Yeah, very good. So there's a little bit of a wrap up. You can see there's a lot of things that government seems to be giving. Some of it sounds too good to be true. Maybe it's a large ditch effort to try and convince you, the public, that they're worthwhile voting in. That's your decision to make coming up really soon. But if you've got any questions coming out of the budget here, whether you're running a business, whether you're a mum and dad on a salary and wage, and you want to understand what it actually means for you, please reach out to us, hello@illuminate.com.au, or you can interact us on the socials. We're more than happy to have a conversation with you. And thank you so much for being amazing, and thank you guys so much for being amazing. We are done.
Well done.
That's a wrap.
Get here.